Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator, today with more Pillar Loves Tabletop games. With another game I picked up at the auction, Cash and Guns, second edition. I did not get to play first edition, but I imagine things aren't too terribly different. Goal of the game is to secure the most loot and win. So basically, everyone's a gangster that was part of a heist, and now they're splitting up the loot, but things are getting a little bit heated in the negotiations of splitting the loot. So as part of the setup of the game, you'll shuffle all the various loot cards and split them into 8 piles of 8, and deal out the first row of it along with the new Godfather token. Every player will start with a character figure of their choice, either side, and 8 cards. 5 that say click, and 3 that say bang. These are your bullet cards. Alright. The oldest player will get the Godfather desk, which has the nice little guide for how the turn goes. And most importantly, each player will get a little foam gun. Yes, it's orange on the end for safety reasons. There's clearly none of the fire either, so it would be rather silly to mistake it for a gun. But I don't blame them for having to be safe with it. All right. So after those first loot cards are dealt, each player will take one of their bullet cards and prepare it face down, and then let's grab a one off the top from everybody. Then the Godfather will count to 3, and everyone will aim at someone else. Say everybody aims across the table. You'll actually physically aim a gun at somebody. All right. The Godfather then has the option to choose someone who is aiming at him to somebody else. So I don't know. You then have a choice to make. Godfather will count to 3, and you will either stand down or remain standing. If you stand down, you discard your bullet card. You don't hurt anybody. They don't hurt you. So it gets discarded without effect. Anyone who is aiming at you will also discard their card without effect. Anyone is still standing after all this and aimed at someone else who is also still standing, they will reveal the card. If it's click, nothing happens. However, if it was a bang, the target will take a wound token and then stand down anyway. If you take your third wound token, you are eliminated from the game. You do not participate in any future rounds, and you score 0. Anyone who's still standing after all this will split the loot for the round, starting with the Godfather, or the first player to their left who is still standing. Take one card from here, or flip over the desk and become or remain the Godfather for the next round. There are the straight up money value cards, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, just straight up money. There are diamond cards. On average, they are worth less than the money cards. However, at the end of the game, the player with the most diamond cards, who is still alive, and only if they are the only one with the most, no ties, it's a 60,000 bonus. So going after the shiny rocks might be worth it. Paintings are worth a number equal to the number you've collected. The first one is worth 4,000. The second one adds 12,000 in total. The third makes it 30,000, and so on and so forth until if you can pull off the very, very difficult to do task of all 10, that's 500,000. Yeah, good luck with that. Other cards that might come up include restoring your wounds, or taking a bang card from the discard pile and replacing one of your click cards with it. As a personal house rule, if these either of these show up in the first round of the game, I'd recommend taking a random card from the second pile to replace it. But that's just my personal idea. I don't know if there's an official fact or anything for it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and example the loot sharing. So we start here. He's going to take the 20,000. He's going to take Godfather desk for next turn. He's going to take the diamond to get ahead on the that goal. He's going to take the painting because he's thinking ahead on that. 10,000, 10,000, 10, 5, 5. So after this first round of loot sharing, we've got a very clear lead right here with 34,000. She's only got 15, 16, but potentially another 60K more. She can keep that lead on the diamonds. And he's only got 15, but he's got the desk next turn to use as an advantage. She's got nothing. We'll have to see how she turns it around. But then the next round of cards will go up, and eventually we'll reach the end of the game where all these cards are gone, or very rarely, one player will remain. If it ever happens to be that one player remains in the game, that player wins regardless of loot count. But we'll get to the end of the game, and players will figure out their painting totals, the diamond bonus, add it all together, and the most wins. As long as they're alive. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just kind of a random, silly game of cash and guns. Pretty straightforward. The base game also adds power cards as well. Everyone will get these at the start to do various advantages. Something to mess with to make the game a little bit crazier. So why do I like this game? Because it's just kind of over the top in how it is. And nothing like working together on a heist and then immediately going at odds with each other over the loot. It's kind of silly. And then It's just, and this is the whole foam gun thing. Is how many other games would do that? Really? But yeah, it's playable for up to 8 players. And there's some of the other characters as well. Entirely visually aesthetic, but ultimately, without unless you really want to make them special, and you want to go with the powers. Yep, Guns. It's fun. I've played it for like a tournament thing once. It was a fun time. Definitely check it out. All right, it's been Pillar with more Pillar game videos, and hope to see you next time.